The story begins by introducing us to a priest named Sang, who volunteers at a hospital. He prays for patients who are on the verge of death. One day, he enters the room of a dying patient. The patient tells Sang his life story and asks him to play the flute as his last wish. Sang leaves to get his flute, but when he returns, the patient has already passed away. Following this event, Sang goes to see his senior priest, who is blind and uses a wheelchair. Sang explains that many people are dying from a deadly disease for which there is no cure yet. An antidote is being developed at the Vasi laboratory, and they are looking for a volunteer for the experiment. Sang offers himself. His senior priest forbids him because he needs him, but Sang is determined. He leaves a letter for the senior priest and goes to the lab, beginning his work as a volunteer. At the lab, the scientists record a video of Sang as proof of his consent. They then inject him with the blood of a patient who had recovered from the disease. There are other volunteers there whom he plays with. However, Sang's condition soon deteriorates, and he becomes infected with the virus. The doctors try to save him, but they fail. Sang dies, leaving everyone in despair. Rebirth and new powers. A miracle occurs. Sang comes back to life. Everyone is shocked and can't understand how it happened. The next day, Sang emerges with his face and entire body bandaged. A crowd of people is waiting for him, as the news of his resurrection has spread. They consider him the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Sang manages to escape to a children's hospital, where he entertains the kids with magic tricks. A woman approaches Sang and asks for his help. She is convinced he can save her critically ill son. Sang follows her home and realizes that her son is his childhood friend. His friend's wife is also there. His friend is in a severe condition, and Sang prays for him. A few days later, his friend makes a full recovery. Sang frequently visits his friend's house and begins to feel an attraction to his friend's wife, Tae. One night, when some of his friend's friends are visiting, his friend deliberately pushes Tae as a joke. No one helps her, but Sang extends his hand. However, Tae refuses his help. Sang suspects his friend often abuses her. Feeling guilty about his attraction to Tae, Sang returns to his room and punishes himself by beating himself. At the same time, he starts to hear the smallest sounds and even sense the bacteria in his body. He then faints. The next morning, when the sunlight touches his skin, it burns, a sign that he has become a vampire. He covers his entire body and goes to the hospital, where he sees a patient who is bleeding. Sang feels drawn to the patient's blood, but he manages to control himself and prays for her. After this, he is seen drinking blood, which makes all his burn wounds heal. Sang realizes he is a vampire and must drink blood to stay strong. He then jumps out of the hospital window, unharmed. A complicated relationship and a fatal decision. Meanwhile, Tae, who has a habit of sleepwalking, walks out of her house. Sang appears before her. Tae wakes up and tries to run, but Sang catches her, puts her shoes back on, and leaves. He secretly likes Tae. Sang goes to his senior priest and tells him everything. His urge for blood awakens. His senior priest offers him his own blood, and Sang drinks it. He then returns to his friend's house, where he has been staying. Tae also starts to feel an attraction to him, and they become intimate. Sang tells his friend he has to go back to serve the patients at the hospital. The next day, he leaves. After he's gone, Tae tells her mother-in-law that she wants to volunteer at the hospital too, and she's given permission. There, she and Sang become intimate again. Sang tries to drink Tae's blood, and she pushes him away. Sang explains that he became a vampire at the hospital. He then drinks a patient's blood. A frightened Tae locks herself in the bathroom. Sang enters through the window, assuring her he's not dangerous and only drinks a small amount of blood from patients to satisfy his thirst. Tae starts to trust Sang. That night, she steals blood from the hospital for him. After drinking the blood, Sang lifts Tae up and jumps from a height. Tae enjoys the moment. Sang sees a wound on her foot and asks who did it, but Tae doesn't answer. Sang meets his senior priest again. The senior priest says he wants to drink some of Sang's blood, believing it will turn him into a vampire too, and he'll regain his sight. Sang refuses to give him his blood. He then returns to his friend's house and asks to stay longer, and his friend's mother agrees. That night, he again becomes intimate with Tae. Afterward, Tae intentionally wounds her own foot. When Sang returns to her room that night, he sees the wound and assumes his friend did it. He tries to kill his friend in his sleep, but Tae stops him. The three of them go fishing. Filled with rage, Sang pulls his friend into the lake, kills him, and flips the boat. The police, an ambulance, and local people arrive. Sang's friend is dead, but Tae is unharmed. People again consider Tae a savior. Sang, who is badly injured, is taken to the hospital. The truth and the end. Sang goes to his senior priest and confesses his sins. His skin starts to deteriorate again, a sign that he needs blood. He then kills his senior priest and drinks his blood. Afterward, he goes to his friend's mother, who suspects Sang and Tae killed her son because Sang survived the drowning. His friend's mother blames Sang until she falls into a coma from shock. Meanwhile, Tae regains consciousness. Her drunk mother-in-law embraces Sang and reveals that her husband never abused Tae, and that Tae wounded herself. Sang is shocked, realizing his mistake. Filled with guilt, he says terrible things to Tae. Feeling remorseful, Tae asks Sang to kill her, and he does. However, Sang realizes he can't live without Tae. He gives her his blood and brings her back to life, turning her into a vampire as well. Tae's mother-in-law witnesses all of this from a distance. As a vampire, Tae begins to kill innocent people. Sang is furious and tries to stop her, but Tae enjoys her new power. They get into a fierce fight with no clear winner as their powers are evenly matched. Tae's mother-in-law, who has recovered, signals to her husband's friends that Sang and Tae are the murderers. Before they can inform the police, Tae attacks and kills them. Sang then drives away with Tae and his friend's mother. He drives all night and stops at the edge of a cliff. As morning approaches, Tae realizes Sang is there to end their lives. She tries to hide, but Sang moves the car forward. Tae finally accepts her fate and sits next to Sang. The sun rises, and as its rays hit their bodies, their skin burns. From inside the car, Sang's friend's mother watches them burn, feeling at peace. Their bodies turn to ash, ending their lives. Although Sang was a good person, his fate as a vampire led him to make